Hello everyone and welcome to Gaffrethon, third episode of our series on the Minish Cap Any History Showcase. With me today is still Myth on commentary, and our runner of the day is Darky. Hello Darky.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing fine. It's the weekend. I'm not really doing anything today, so perfect day for a run.
Why not play some TMC? How are you feeling
Yeah.
today, Myth?
Yeah, I'm good. We were just chatting a bit about this route, and it's going to be a fun one.
Alright, yeah, indeed. This is actually the route I started running the game too, so pretty excited to see it as well. Alright, so let's go for a few questions to our dear Darky. So can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, yeah. I'm Darky. I'm 22 years old. I'm a computer engineer, and I also speedrun some games sometimes, and almost only TMC. So.
Almost only TMC. Yeah. About that, when did you play TMC for the first time? Was it as a kid like us,
Yeah,
or?
it was as a kid. Because my big brother, who is 6 years older than me, got the GBA when he was 10 years old, so probably in like 2005, 2006. And he got TMC at that point, and I played it. I couldn't even read at the time, so it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the first Zelda I've played, and one of the first video games ever.
Yeah, pretty nice. And so is this why you started running it? When was it exactly?
Well, I think I was like looking for things on YouTube in summer 2016, and I stumbled upon the Atros SGDQ run.
All right.
I don't remember which edition that was. Probably like 2015 or 2014. I don't remember. But yeah, I watched that video, and I was like, yeah, there's quite cool tricks you can do on this game. And so I started learning it with the course tutorial from 2015.
Yeah.
So yeah, during summer of 2016.
All right, cool. Well, you have already answered my next question, which was what was your first speed game? So it's TMC, and how did you get to know about the whole running thingy? And it's thanks to SGDQ run, I see.
I mean, I probably knew what was speedrunning for a long time, but I've never really gotten into it. So.
Yeah, I see. And so you speedrun some other games? I think so.
Yeah, not really seriously though, but I did some speedruns of Clone War for Gaffrethon, the first edition.
That's true.
And I also did runs of other Zelda games like Link's Awakening, but never really seriously.
Yeah, right. The all instrument category, I think, was it?
Yeah, it was a like a really bad category, but it wasn't too long, so.
Yeah. Well, I see. What are you doing on Twitch currently? I want to say not too much. Then what are you up to recently?
Well, right now on Twitch, I'm not doing anything. Maybe soon TM.
Oh, soon TM.
You never know.
Minute.
But yeah, I'm not really playing lots of games either these days. A bit of Isaac and GeoGuessr, but apart from that, not much.
Oh yeah, you are a GeoGuessr pro. That's all I know.
That's so cool.
It is pretty cool. All right, so now about the category you're about to run. So flipper skip. This is the one you were learning, or did you learn the previous one before?
I learned the previous one, but never really speedrun it.
Right, so
yeah, because at the time I couldn't really do the Ocarina English correctly on keyboard until I found a way to do it.
Yeah.
After flipper skip, so that's pretty much the category I started really speedrunning on.
Right, yeah, so this is your first category, more or less, and so you already knew it before the event, of course, but I've heard you've done like some relearning specifically for this event.
Yeah, because there are some tricks I didn't really know how to do anymore.
All right.
Because it got kind of old, and yeah, I need to remember the word correctly and not do anything too bad.
Yeah, for sure. But
So yeah, I did some
So
runs.
we're not seeing brioche minute.
Yeah.
No, I never learned that.
for instance, yeah. But what I mean to say that you're going to basically rerun the world record you had back then, right?
Yeah, pretty much exactly that route with little cool strats here and there.
Right. So this is why we might not see the exactly optimal strats from the end of that
Yeah,
route, but it's
because
gonna
I think
be faithful.
if I was doing the most like the best strats, then the run from next week would be pretty much the same, apart from big glitch that I
But
just
slower.
You never
So
know.
yeah,
All right, yeah.
I tried doing a bit of an older route, which is a route from 2018 or so.
Right. Cool. So last question for you, Darky. What do you like better, waffles or croissant? Since you are French.
I still prefer waffles, you know.
Let's go.
Croissants are okay, but no, waffles are just
Waffles
better.
are better, of course.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We're gonna switch scene, and then as soon as you're ready, we can start the run. See you in a few.
Okay.
And we're back already. So let me just start live split before it's too late. We have sound. Everything seems to be all right. I hope everyone is ready. And well, whenever you are ready, Darky, you can just let me know, and I will do the countdown.
Yeah, whenever you want.
All right. Well, I'll let you soft reset, and I'll try to start the timer when you hit play. Actually, I think it's better that way.
Okay. Well, then let's go.
All right.
Oh, before we beat me to the announcement.
Oh yeah. So intro cutscene once again. What can we expect from this route, Smith? What is gonna be different from other items? A lot of things, I think.
Yeah, so this all began in 2017 because I think it was Tompa that was saying something along the lines of the boomerang is a useless item. Why would anyone want to use it? And it turns out it's the most important item in the modern era of speedrunning this game. Toads was messing around with the lantern because the lantern was like really broken, and it uses a load of different. On the European version, you can do some weird glitches with it with a bunch of different items. And he tried to using the lantern and then like activating another item immediately afterwards. But he decided that he was going to try it on the boss doors, and when he did it on the boss door, he clipped out of bounds, and that is basically the fundamental thing that changes this whole route. So the first obvious place to do it was in Palace of Wind, so we're going to see it done there to completely skip the second half. But then the idea came about to try and use it in Temple of Droplets to be able to skip having to use the flippers in the first section of Temple of Droplets. We already knew how to get to Temple of Droplets without having to get to the flippers. So if you can skip that first section in the dungeon, you can just completely skip using the flippers. And since this route is called Flippers Skip,
guess what's
that's
gonna happen?
exactly what we're doing.
Also, Darky is doing the 4 blue rupee minute, partly
Okay.
because that's what he was known for, among other things. As far as I know, he was the only one doing it until 2020, maybe even. Like, for a very, very long time, I've only seen
It's a cool
Darky
strat.
do that one. It's a cool one.
Yeah.
And so, another some specific things about Darky. So first we had Ko, who was playing on Switch, the most recent console, but he used to play on Wii U before. And then Nitros, who was playing on GBI, so both with controllers. But Darky is a fervent keyboard defender. He will always play on keyboard until the end of times, and that is also why we see the input on the top, because he's playing on emulator. And maybe we can bring the emulator rules history for 1 or 2 minutes, Smith. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. So in 2014, pretty much a month before the portal items skip in Fortress of Winds was discovered, the community decided to do some investigating to see which is the fastest version of the game to play, because some people were playing on Game Boy Player, some people were playing on emulator. And there were different emulators available. The most common one at the time was VBA, or Visual Boy Advance. And after some timing of different sections, like how long it takes to save and clear, how long it takes to do screen transitions and stuff, it was determined that if you played on VBA, you had an unfair advantage because all of your saves were like 2.5 seconds faster.
Yeah.
So for that reason, because it was emulating incorrectly in comparison to the console, which version at the time, which was just a Game Boy Player, because it was faster, it was deemed an unfair advantage, and emulators just were banned from the leaderboards. This was a time when speedrun.com wasn't used yet. It was all on Zelda speedruns. And the Zelda speedruns leaderboard worked a little bit differently, where you can have verified runs and unverified runs, but they were both on the leaderboard. So the decision that was made is like, you can still submit your runs onto the leaderboard, but they just won't be checked marked as being like a valid run because it's on emulator. But it still was viewed as everyone in the community, by everyone in the community, as an emulator ban. So anyone who took the game seriously from 2014 through to 2018 only played on console. So, eventually, several years later, people started to test out the Wii U version to see if that was faster in comparison to the Game Boy Player, and people realized that the time save was present on the Wii U as well. So it wasn't just a emulator emulating incorrectly.
Yeah.
Consoles were also emulating incorrectly. And that made everyone in the community decide to do a revote to whether or not they should allow more accurate emulators again. Seeing as emulators like MGBA had come about that had fixed that issue and were more accurate to the Game Boy Player and the Game Boy Advance. So in 2018, emulators were again re-allowed onto the leaderboards as long as you were playing on BizHawk.
Yep, and that's pretty much where I came in the community, because as far as I can remember, I've always been able to run on EMU. And so, what would you say are the advantages of running keyboard, maybe since you as well run or used to run keyboard?
It's just so much more accurate and precise. Like, whenever I was playing on D-pad, I could never do accurate diagonal movement, and like switching from diagonal to like straight, if you wanted to do a straight line movement on D-pad, sometimes you accidentally do a little bit of diagonal with it, whereas keyboard, you just hold one button, you're only ever moving in that one direction. So it gives you a lot of precision in what you want to be doing.
Interesting. Like I never really had that kind of issue with controller. Maybe it was problem of bad D-pad, but what I would expect is on keyboard it's much easier to mash for me, because well, you can have a good keyboard with nice springs or whatever, but I can't for the life of me mash on controller. It's way too difficult.
I'm the complete opposite. I have a controller that I've got plugged in so that I can mash text boxes on the controller, and then use the keyboard for all of the gameplay.
Alright. I know that Darky has a specific technique to mash as well, because well,
Yeah.
I've seen him do it on Gaffrethon, but also if you pay attention to his webcam feed, each time he mash, you can see it shaking, because well, that's just how hard he's mashing. His whole desk is trembling.
Yeah, it is.
Right, so
Yeah, I have seen Darky's keyboard layout, and he has buttons on different keys to how
Yeah.
I do, and I think his is better for mashing. Definitely, there's more buttons. There's you have more flexibility in how many fingers you have to press things.
yeah, also Darky uses space for A,
Yeah,
which is kind of insane to everybody, but I mean, seems like it works pretty well.
Yeah.
You know,
I always
it
thought
kind of
about like
works.
trying to adopt that, but it's too hard at this point for me.
You were
start
saying,
out with
Darcy?
that, sorry.
Nope. Well, anyway, so about what's happening in the game, it's as usual. We need to gather the element to save Zelda. Not much to say. Thing is, the run is going to be pretty much the same as last time until Cave of Flames. I would say it's going to be different after getting the cane.
Yeah, so the because of the whole flipper skip, the item that Toads discovered was useful for doing the skip was the lantern, which was a great first discovery, but not great for skipping the flippers because the lantern is
It's
in
locked
the
behind
air
flippers.
in droplets after the flippers, so you would need something else to do that. And so he decided to test a bunch of different other items out and discovered that the magic boomerang
Works as well. Yeah.
which is great because the magic boomerang can be collected before you get the flippers.
You can
So-
collect it right after getting the ocarina, right?
Exactly, and so that's what we're going to be doing. We need to get the magic boomerang, and to get the magic boomerang, you need to do the tingle quest. So you need to get 4 green kinstones and fuse all with the tingles in the overworld, which presents a bit of an issue because now we need to get 4 green kinstones to collect. Luckily for us, 2 of the kinstones are in Cave of Flames, so that's going to be the first point that this route's going to be a bit different. We're going to be grabbing kinstones in there. Because of one of the kinstones being slightly out of the way, it makes more sense to change how we do our rupee route as well. So we're going to be grabbing a big blue rupee, which is 100 rupees in Cave of Flames as well, which means we don't need to collect any money after we've bought the grip ring. We're going to be at 0 rupees, and we just stay at 0 rupees until that one spot.
That's right, I actually forgot about that. Also, is it only 2, or I think I remember you can get 3 greens in Cave of Flames?
We used to do that, but the third chest is really slow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really slow.
but technically it's possible. It was a route that was pretty, don't want to say beginner friendly, but like you could learn that route and run it first back then.
Oh yeah, this was still of the era where, like, everything that the world record did, like, you could do as a beginner, and the only difference between you and them was how optimized you played the game.
Yeah, ice damage boost. And the thing is, what's kind of funny about that route is that when you do flipper skip, you spend more time in jumper of droplets than you were spending in other items. The dungeon gets longer, but the book quest is so long that you actually save more time by skipping it than actually doing droplets well, not the intended way, but with flippers.
I think it's bare if it. I think it's very close still. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so much time saved from the
Flippers.
books quest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's the thing. We can't entirely skip the books quest. Like, to get flippers, you need to get all 3 of the books.
Yeah.
But in the middle of that, we need to get the power bracelets.
And we still
And-
need it.
Yes, in Palace of Winds, there is one room that you have to use the power bracelets, which means that we need to go out of our way just to get the power bracelets alone and not collect any books. So there's this. We've seen in the previous routes an ocarina glitch done in the in the shop roof
Yeah.
to get to the power bracelets early just before we get the books. But there's an even faster method that Dark is going to show for us today.
Yep, in around 45 minutes, maybe, something like that. We'll get to that later.
Pretty much at 1 hour
Yeah.
of run.
Yeah, I think this is a cool one because it's a trick I've never learned until this week because it's just not it kind of fell away as soon as this route got superseded by the World Pop route. There was no need to ever learn that, and no other categories do it, so it was kind of like forgotten tech, and it's going to be fun to see it again.
Yeah, it's a very nice OG, and funnily enough, it's the first OG you do in that route. So
yes.
for me, who learned that, it was like, okay, you need to be able to do that. And actually, the first two OGs are some pretty scary / different OGs compared to what you usually do with the stairs. But for now, Duffy is gonna fight Motherpillar. He likes his mini-boss so much that he made an emote out of it. And very cool 2 cycles.
Yeah, we're all very much used to Deep It at this time. It's unchanged.
Yeah, it's never gonna change. But so basically what happened is, as usual, this dungeon is kind of a tutorial dungeon. You get interrupted a lot by Ezlo telling you how to do stuff. We got the Gajra, which is the Super Suki 9000. It's unfortunate that Darky didn't trust his positioning there.
Yeah,
and
I wasn't trusting it, but actually it was good.
Yeah, I was surprised that you were the barrel was in the right position.
And so there's always the thing with Ezlo triggers. As Smith said last week and the one before, actually rolling into an Ezlo trigger gives you the intended mechanic, which is to wait like almost a second before Ezlo starts talking, but somehow if you walk into it, you skip at least half a second, I think, of waiting time, so that's what we want to do each time. And yeah, I think I've said pretty much what we needed to say about the technicals that we've already said twice. Just in case you're just coming in. And yeah, indeed, the difference between the legacy route and all the others in Deep Shrine is that we do not get the chest in the cellar, maybe like in front of the boss door. But
yeah.
That's a chest that's never gonna get picked up again, so we kind of forgot that. It's the main difference. And so overall, I guess it was pretty nice. Deep Shrine, I've seen a few damage boosts here and there, so pretty solid
Yeah,
so
some
far.
kind of bad RNG at some point, but it's alright.
Yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, that lily pad movement is the standard lily pad movement that everyone does, and it was it came about from the 2016 cast, like doing those exact gust blasts.
Yeah, 16 flat entering despite having done the 4 blue rupee money piece pretty decent.
Yeah, pretty much what you
that's a
aim
good
for.
pace. I think the blue rupee, the 4 blue rupees adds like 11 seconds, 11 or 12 seconds to the time. So.
Pretty nice. And so the boss of this first dungeon is Green Shoe, as usual. Not much to say except that you need to use the item you got in the dungeon to defeat him, just like any classic Zelda game. As usual, I will say that I really like the idea of taking a kind of lame enemy and make it a god just because you are small. But so let's see if Darky can get well, either lucky with a charge on the third phase or skip a jump. I believe in Darky. No pressure, but he's gonna get it.
Impossible.
Oh my god.
Nearly. That was a couple frames off.
Such a scam.
I think he had like medium to slightly good timer RNG as well with how long the chew stayed on the ground.
1733 is still a pretty damn good time, especially if you take into account the 11 seconds from for blue rupee.
Yeah.
Very good. So from now until entering Cave of Flames, we can't really expect anything different from Portal Adams, right? Gonna be exactly the same route?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. The only difference will be, like, we don't get that red chest on at the top of Krenel, but otherwise the movement's gonna be exactly the same. I don't know if we did. We might have skipped the South Hyrule Field Windcrest in previous routes, but this route will get it.
Yeah, that is different as well. And we could ask why. Well, the answer is very simple. It's just to get faster to the Tingle Brother later on, because the Boomerang quest works like that. So the first Tingle Brother, I think it's a real Tingle, maybe the green one. He appears once you get the Ocarina, or once you beat Fortress of Winds. I don't know exactly which flag, but I'm gonna assume it's once you get the Ocarina. And you need to talk to him so that he tells you something like, hey, all my brothers are here, and something, and then only once you have talked to him will the other Tingles, so there are 4 in total, spawn on the map. If you do not, the Tingles are not there, and you are very disappointed when you go there to fuse. As that was on the bottom right there, you had a log or something, that's where the Tingle appears. And in order to get the magic boomerang, you need to fuse with all 4 Tingles with Queen Kinsun, and it said earlier. So here nothing special happening, or the good guy wants to teach you how to do Kingston fusions. And for once it's actually useful to know how fusions are gonna be done, because we need to do a little bit more than just the 3 golden in the swamp. And then it's a stranger, I guess. Okay, yeah, we are doing 4 fusions, now we do 8.
Yeah, there were a lot of fusions done back in this time.
Daki almost exceeded without learning the spin attack.
I need to focus more.
I have no time for this. Let me out.
Don't worry.
Alright, and it's time for the first roll lift, so if Darky can roll 1 frame after dropping the bomb, he got it. The bomb explodes much earlier, and Darky is not doing the damage boost there. Mostly, I think, because he's not gonna visit the fairy cave in Chrono, so health being scarce, he's not gonna take any risk with it.
Yeah.
Which is, in my opinion, one of the main reasons why everybody stopped doing the 4 blue rupee money, because having a free health refill entering Chrono is just too good, and it can also allow you to do some damage boost with bombs earlier, so it's just better. I don't think we've discussed that before, but you can skip shrinking animations once you've seen them once per Minish portal. So we need to watch the first one on the tree stump, this one on the rock, and another one on the, I don't even know what that is, in the town, the last scan of...
Yeah, the like pot. Yeah, the only one that doesn't have a cutscene is the dungeon ones. Yeah, if you don't skip the cutscene and just let it play, you don't go inside it. It kind of like Link goes into it. The camera doesn't zoom in, and then Minish Link will just appear below it. It's kind of a bit weird.
I guess they just forgot about it. Maybe.
There are a lot of weird little quirks with the dungeon ones, like how like we're kind of used to it subconsciously as runners to not press R as soon as we've shrunk at certain portals, because then we'll regrow instantly. But some other ones it's fine to do so, and that's the difference between like dungeon portals and the ones that go.
Yeah, what I usually do is I look on the top right corner, and once I see the Japanese text changing, I know it's safe to roll. Alright, not much to say about Chrono. Again, it's just gonna be the same for pretty much ever, I want to say. Yeah, not too much changes. Dipping the uranium water that the vine grows.
He didn't want whatever that rock drop then. He didn't want the free bomb drop.
Yeah. Could have been anything, but Darky's not taking any chance.
One of the things that can drop from those rocks is the little grabby beetle thing that will jump onto you, and then you can't grab the thing. So
for
in
quite
case
a while,
of that,
right?
that's why Darky threw it away.
Yeah. It happened to all of us at least once, and then, well, either you are like me and you still gamble and you throw it on the left, or you swear to never have that happen to you again and you throw it on top.
Yeah, it's a 1 in 16 chance of dropping one of
really?
those beetles. Yeah.
I would feel like it's 1 in 50 or 1 in 100, like it's so rare.
Yeah.
But when it happens, oh god.
This looks bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one hit already. On average, I would say it's like 2 hits when climbing, so yeah, you're fine. Probably.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Right, will the Pihats and the Teklite behave? You are fine.
Yeah.
No fear at all. So here we have the section with the raindrops. We won't say why it's the most important part of Chrono Myth.
But we need to skip this already. I've been looking into this, and there's so many things that if there was one slight difference, we would have a clip that would skip us to Cave of Flames and skip like a minute and a half or maybe 2 minutes. Yeah. But it just doesn't work.
What's missing? Is it a few pixels or?
Yeah, like in one of the later sections, there's some rock beetles, and we can use them to do like a diagonal clip, and then like do a jump exactly the same as like we do with Chrono Clip, but it would jump us down to the entrance of Cave of Flames. And that would just end up saving like a minute and a half. It's after this room, on the outside of this section, but the level geometry just doesn't work. There's too many blocks. Yeah, in that room there, you could jump from there and skip all of these rooms, but yeah, it doesn't quite work. You'd need like 1 extra block removed.
I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon in regular TMC.
Yeah.
Damn, I completely forgot that we did not grab that part during Flipper Skip. It's been so long. Maybe you do grab it if you do Armor Skip? Was it?
No, I still do Armor Skip.
You still do Armor Skip? Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just lost on my memory. Alright, we are finally entering the mine and then Cave of Flames. So this long chronal climb. But in a way, having an early game that's so... I don't want to say slow, but like so empty, so void of tricks, makes you realize how movement is important even at top level. But even when you're a beginner, like it forces you to focus on your rolls, to react to RNG.
Yeah,
so it's nice that we still have that and not only tricks everywhere.
It was only in the end of this era that people decided that glitchless was a worthwhile category to actually go to, because glitchless is just too similar to any percent, and any percent just skipped all of the boring stuff from glitchless. Whereas at this point, any percent does skip enough stuff that you would want to do, and especially in like the modern era today. A lot of people would benefit a lot from doing glitchless runs just to have an appreciation more for optimizing movement over all the insane amount of tricks we have.
Tricks and manips and everything, 100% for sure. Yeah, that actually makes sense. That before that, it was like, yeah, why would I play glitchless? It's just any percent, except I don't do all our items, more or less. Alright, so Cave of Flames is going to be almost identical to the previous routes, except that at the end we're gonna grab a few more chests. And as usual, this dungeon is more about reacting to RNG and hopefully getting good patterns, like in the first room or the one that's coming right now. Let's see what Darky gets.
One of the subtle things was in that previous room, Darky intentionally hit one of the bombs so that it's killed, and because you have to backtrack through that section later, so when they backtrack through there, that bomb's being killed and remembers that, so it won't bother. It won't bother them. There's just like little things like that you just don't, you wouldn't see nowadays.
Yeah.
Cancelled. Yeah, the moving the lava platforms are really weird. You roll onto them and they'll instantly cancel your rolls, so you kind of like get used to timing a rhythmic pattern with your rolls to get across them as quickly as possible.
Indeed, that's something you realize, well, as soon as you try to roll into them, you realize it. But it's kind of weird. That was a pretty good part. And on the roller bite, since we do not grab that chest, we can go quickly to the other hole. And if you have one of them who is just before the hole, you can just whack it instead of attacking it and then grabbing and throwing. Always feels good when you don't have to do that. Now we're back to full bombs. Very nice movement. I wish I could do that, like just adjust a tiny bit so that you can keep rolling and gain enough, not high, but like you are high enough that you can squeeze through the door. It's really just a detail, but I love that kind of detail. So this fight is going to be exactly the same as last week. Basically, I think that strat is never gonna change, right?
Yeah, as soon as someone figured this out, it's like, there used to be experimentation way back in the day with slight variants of how people wanted to use the bomb strats and stuff, but that one was just so strong that everyone just converged to it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need anything except spin attack that you kind of require at that point. and yeah, it's easy, it's fast. So
Yeah, like because that strat is so fast, it's one of the main reasons why we get the spin attack the first time we go to town instead of trying to route it later, like when we go and get boots or something.
I mean, also because you need the spin attack to leave town. There's
At
no
the
way.
moment,
There's no way you can.
for this route, definitely you can't leave town without it. But...
Very nice third rule there to skip the. Just keep a cycle on the traps. But yeah, so in the next section with all the rotating, well, not the rotating, but the moving lava platform in the huge room, this is where Darky is gonna get the rupees he needs. Pretty nice room. This room can be a nightmare if, well, you're not lucky.
Yeah, the rollerblades do start in constant positions at the beginning of the room, but their facing direction is randomized as soon as you enter the room, and then
In fact, you can just go right and not fall into the hole again, which is pretty counterintuitive, but that just works for us, so that's good. And this is the first difference from previous routes, right?
Yeah, so that green kinstone was the arrow kinstone. So there's 3 different shapes to the kinstones. We need an arrow, a square, and then 2 of the P-shaped ones. And we can get 2 of them here. So we got the arrow one, and then we're going to be getting the P-shaped one in the bottom right corner. Because when we come back to the lava room, there is a fixed cycle of this platform moving up and down that we have to hit. If we get the bottom right chest, we just miss the cycle to get to the boss door. So we have some free time, and we might as well go and get a chest that's in the bottom left to get some rupees, and then come back and we hit the same cycle. So it's just it just makes more sense to not collect any rupees until this point.
Yeah, indeed, and I think. Well, I think I remember something like you would get, yeah. I think if you skip that chest and still get the rupees from the 2 others, you can get 1 cycle earlier on the boss door. That's something that you used to do on Flipper Skip. I would get 3 green kinstone in that dungeon, so we would go all the way to the right on the area just before, and then do the.
Oh, sorry,
thing.
I had this. It was the wrong way around. The rupee was in the bottom right. The chest, the kinstone's in the bottom right.
And I think, yeah, I would grab that one, but not the rupee, and you could get just barely the right cycle.
Yeah. A couple months ago, I discovered a huge optimization to gliding movement, and you can glide at like extreme angles and maintain your facing direction.
All right.
So yeah, you can do it there to not have to do like the whole like changing direction. You can always face up and then still like glide basically directly to the right so that you can be in front of the thing straight away. And it saves like half a second or so.
Interesting. Right then, so this is Xerox. So there's a boss of Cave of Flames, which, well, there's not much to say. You use the cane to flip his armor, and then you hit him on the back, more or less, until he dies. Yeah. At that time, it wasn't known yet that you want him to be on the bottom for the last phase. So what everybody did is just lure him to the top if you can. If he's slow as hell like that, you just go to the sides before killing him. Also, those fire up a lot of health in them. This is insane how much they can drop, even though that boss fight is like insanely easy.
If anyone was curious as to what the other chest in the dungeon was, it was one of those side rooms. We glided over a bunch of the spike traps moving side to side, and there was a chest there that had the square-shaped one. But we can get square one much easier.
Oh no, wait, what you do if you do double manip and armor slip is you only get the first chest in that dungeon. You don't even go. You go bottom right to get the repeat, but you don't go bottom left to get the chest because you get two more with double and then armor slip. That's the thing I was missing. But alright, so we're done with Cave of Flames in under 39 minutes, which is very good for that route. And now it's time to do, well, just like before, get the sword that's been reforged by some questionable means, and then infuse it with the 2 elements, and proceed to the third dungeon, which is Fortress of Winds, where we expect to get Wind Element. How are you feeling about that run so far, Darky?
It's okay, could have been worse.
Yeah.
Cave of Flames was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like you didn't get too much insanely bad RNG. I mean, the rest is just kind of usual. So I'm gonna have to think, because in order to do flipper skip, but more importantly to get into droplets without the flippers, you need a ferry. And I'm curious as to where and when Darky's gonna get one, because I don't remember exactly. Oh, actually he can't get it right now because he needs water, right?
He doesn't need...
He needs
water.
water.
He does need water, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I remember where you get a ferry now.
Yeah.
Just before bracelets.
Exactly.
So we're making our way to the sanctuary. So, Myth, overall, how much time would you say the flipper skip route saves compared to portal items?
I think it was like 6 minutes.
Which makes sense because I think portal items had an estimate of 155 and this is one of 150, so that's more or less that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going by record for each of the routes. For portal items, it was a 151, and for
flipper skip, it was a 144.
Yeah, it was fires sub 145.
But one thing we can maybe mention right now, as that is gonna harass Link, is that flipper skip route was never really, well, except for Fire's time, but a lot of the top runner quickly dropped it for the next one, the bracelet skip one, that was discovered not too long after it, maybe?
Yeah.
It was pretty much at the same time.
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah, it was Yeah, well, cutscene ocarina glitch was already known at this prior to Flipper Skip. And discovering Flipper Skip kind of implied that Bracelet Skip was also possible, but was essentially only TAS. It was TAS only because you have to do cutscene OGs, which are very perfect.
Well, it's not only frame perfect, it's one frame, one chance, because you need to do it as the enemy dies on the last frame. And so quickly, top runners, or at least 3 runners, being Toads, Vlad, and Darky, decided to go for it instead of the regular Flipper Skip route. Basically, Bracelet Skip is exactly Flipper Skip with that trick on top, with skipping the bracelet, which saves around 2 minutes if you can get it. Because if you don't get it, you don't soft lock. You can always save and quit and try again, but nobody does that. So it was an instant reset if you missed that run perfect trick in Palace of Winds. So 1 hour and 20 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly. So the first ever run of the Bracelet Skip was done by Toads in August of 2018. So it was about a year after Into Flipper Skip being the route that everyone was doing. But yeah, when Toads did it, and kind of like they were just doing a D-Rust run for Flipper Skip, but just decided, screw it, we're just gonna do Bracelet Skip for the hell of it, and got it.
Also, this was the best cutscene in the game. But yeah, my whole point was that going by record is maybe not making justice to that route, because not too many people pushed it really hard, as it was okay with other categories. So it saves at least 6 minutes, maybe 7, I don't know, but it's more than that.
Yeah, so all of the Bracelet Skip times of that period, for about like a 10-month period, there were only ever 6 submitted runs for Bracelet Skip, and it was done by only 3 people. I mean, we're going to get into more of it next week, but all of the times were 144s, which meant that it was the any percent record at the time. But if we kind of like ignore Bracelet Skip existing and just focus on only the Flipper Skip, Fire Turtle put in an absolutely fantastic time in Flipper Skip and kind of established themselves as the person who was the best at not doing Bracelet Skip.
And arguably the best at all, because Bracelet Skip was supposed to save you 2 minutes, and it saved around, I don't know, 40 seconds compared to Fire's run, so it was mechanically very clean. And it oftentimes used as a reference when you wanted to improve your run and see what kind of movement was better, especially in the early game.
Yeah, I've gone through the run and recorded all of the splits, so I can know what's good times. That's one of the runs that's kind of like remembered in the community as like being an iconic one, along with like Toad's 152 and like Vlad's 138.
137, I think even.
Yeah, 137, 38.
Yeah, the kind of run that you remember for them being very clean. In the meantime, Darky progressed in the story. We're not talking a lot about what's happening because it's very usual and not that interesting all in all. We're gonna get the magic mushroom to give him to Ram so that he can wake up and give us the boots, which is a section that's untouched still today, right? You get to the signpost earlier, but you still have to do all of that to get to Syrup.
Yeah, the only difference is like we have to go slightly out of our way to get the Wind Crest, whereas Darky got it a little bit earlier. But other than that, is that all of this is effectively the same and has been unchanged for the whole history of of the speed run. We need the boots because the boots are fast, and the only way to get the boots is to get the mushroom.
And I think that's probably never gonna change because it's not like you need the mushroom to get past an obstacle. You need the mushroom to trigger a story event. So
yeah, I mean, as of today, we do know how to skip the boots, but we don't do it because it's slow.
Because first it's very hard, and two it's gonna be very slow for.
I haven't even bothered trying to make an RTA Bible setup for it because it wouldn't ever be faster.
Yeah. Maybe if you got the cape earlier, you could like jump everywhere instead of using the boots. But even that, would it really be worth it? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, getting the cape early is just a whole ordeal of how do you even get into Palace without the blue sword?
Yeah.
Because that would be great. Do Palace before Droplets and Cave of Flames.
I guess technically you could do it right after Deeper Shrine if you manage to fuse with a stranger and then enter and do the rest.
I think we would need Ocarina at least.
Yeah.
Oh,
right,
very
so
nice.
that was a manip. Darky got the green Kingston
Yeah,
was
exactly.
missing. No, not at all. It was
Actually not
lucky
missing.
or unlucky. And yeah, so actually we're going to see right after the bow probably double manip. So
Yeah.
what you get is a GP and a G square. And then you need one extra GP that he intends to get from Armor's Clip, which we will discuss later. So what's the history behind this manip? Because it's one that, well, was very nice because it's not difficult, you have a nice visual cue, and it's still used today for some of the more beginner strats, I think.
Yeah, so the very first Kinstone route for this category was we would get the 3 Kinstones in Cave of Flames, yeah. So it would be one of each of the shades, and then all we would be missing is a GP, and you would get that from an Armos Minute in
Fortress of Winds.
in Fortress of Winds. But then, so that was like the very first thing that was discovered in like June of 2017, and it was Toads did it to get the first like big record for this route.
And so just for this manip, you look at the fusing jauge, and as soon as it touches the edge of the rock, you know that you can release and get it. That's a very
really
nice
easy.
visual cue you can get, yeah. Back to you.
So this was then discovered in November. You can do it that double, and you get a G square and then a GP, and because of that, getting the G square there, it means you don't need to go through the like that side track in Cave of Flames. So you only get the 2 in Cave of Flames and then 2 here. And as you were mentioning earlier, there is an even faster method where you skip having. You only need to get 1 in Cave of Flames, and then you do a different minute here.
This area...
Actually, no, it would be the same minute.
Yeah,
It's the same. It's double, and then you would still do the Armos one to get the other one that you were missing from Cave.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that this area, Castle Wild, on the next one, Wind Ruins are famous for having a lot of Kingston drops, especially green ones. If you want to make up a manip that lets you, nice arrows, that lets you get green Kingston, those are the areas you want to look for. Although, seeing how that was a GP.
It was a GP, yeah.
Seeing how many enemies you have on those areas, maniping is going to be difficult because each time an enemy has to take a decision, he's making an RNG call, see what is the value, and he adds +1 or +2 or +2 whatever on it. But the thing is, you have so many enemies that are physically present in the game that the RNG goes on like crazy.
Yeah,
so.
in Swamp there's 15 enemies. They all change RNG very rapidly.
So any manip you do is very precise.
Yeah.
Especially the longer it goes. We will see in the next routes, something that's called a quad manip in the swamp in Castle Walls, where you can get all 4 Kinsun instantly, but it's pretty precise.
One of the really tough things about trying to do manipulation here in Wind Ruins is that when tech types jump, all the time they're in mid-air, they're rapidly cycling RNG every single frame, which makes it impossible to manip. And also, when you go to a Minish portal, you see all of the sparkles that appear by a portal. They rapidly change RNG every single frame as well. So any RNG manipulations you want to do can't go onto a screen that has a tech type or go near to a portal.
As usual, those 2 patch of grass stay curved there, so that's pretty nice to backtrack as a Minish.
Yeah, I mentioned before, but they're special. There's like some very special thing that only applies in that room, and just for those things that isn't standard with anything else in the game. Like, there's a very special area in memory just allocated to those.
Yeah. So we're gonna enter a Fortress of Winds. Not much is gonna, well, not much. What's gonna change is armor clip, another
Nice.
green, come on. And I hope Darky's gonna do the spin attack strat for the 2 buttons. So that strat is insane and I love it. But let's talk a little bit about Armos.
Okay.
So the Armos are the enemies that we have seen before, and so I don't know who, I guess it's Toads, who discovered that you can clip through them, and that's what's going to be used to get
It was Toads,
to the
yeah.
portal before doing Portal Island. You need to do a manip to do that, so that you are sure that the Armos is gonna do what you want him to do, basically. Also, yeah, that's the strat I was talking about.
Yeah, Toads developed the swamp double minute to.
This is an insane manip, I love it. Well, not manip, but
It's not a minute. Yeah. You have to position yourself correctly and have the it's actually luck based, because the armors can choose to move in different directions depending on what the RNG value is at.
So you were saying about Armos Clip myth?
Yeah, Toads discovered Armos Clip and then realized that you weren't able to manip a Kinstone drop from the Armos anymore, because you would be manipulating the Armos into the corner to do the clip. So they developed the double Kinstone manip in Swamp instead, so they could get all of the Kinstones before coming to the dungeon, and then they can use the Armos Clip manip to clip through and save. Wasn't it 8 seconds?
It's 8 seconds. But as it turns out, you can manip the Armos after clipping and get a group.
Yes.
So I don't think Darky is gonna do it there, because he already got more than enough Kinstone and it wasn't even in his route. But it's something that is possible. And actually, if you roll RNG and not, you can get any kind of Kinstone from an Armos, all 3 reds or 2 blues and all 3 greens.
Yeah. It really depends where you are in the RNG sequence. It can take a while before you eventually get the Kinstone that you're looking for. Oh, you don't want that one.
Grab it.
Yeah, what was thought of the time with the Armos Clip was that it was so hard. Well, I mean, for Toads, it was extremely hard to get a manipulation to work to get the Armos to move to that spot. That it was thought that you had to do that manip, and there was no other way of getting the Armos into the spot. More recently, we know that we can do manipless Armos Clip, where we just drag the Armos over, and we don't need to do a save and quit and an RNG manipulation beforehand. So at the time, you still hit the switches and then shrunk at the exposed.
But something that was discovered, I don't know if that was exactly at that time. Oh, let me. Okay, very nice. For a bomb, tools, and very nice. But something that you need to take into account is that when you grab the red Kinstone, you can have.
I was just too late.
You can get an extra sparkle, and that calls RNG one more time. and that's not what you want, but you are manipulating the armor, so you need to pay attention to that. And I don't know if that was discovered instantly, but that's something that I know me and a bunch of other runners were surprised at, like, why did the manip not work? And that wasn't general knowledge back then. But alright, so we are fighting Mazal, finally, and that was a pretty nice Fortress of Wind, all in all, except for that small delay on Polar Island, but at least you didn't get the slow animation, which is something that costs you a lot of time. So since boots cancelling is known, I wonder if Darky is gonna do a fast end skill on the third phase where you only use bow and boots.
No, I don't even know how to do it, to be fair.
Alright, so he's not gonna do it. But it's just an alternative strat you can do on the third cycle. We might see it in the future rides.
Yeah, the TAS developed a bunch of like time saves here in Mazal for like in the early and later cycles as well.
Also, that was a very nice end clip. If you just match the sword to kill one of the ends of Mazal, you can just hold your sword button and clip through it to get to the Minish portal faster. I don't know if that was known before, but that's definitely something that was done during Flicker.
Yeah, that was discovered by like I'm sure it was used in the TAS in 2016.
So that was Fortress of Wind, and this is barely, but it is still a Subaru Ocarina 5959. Nice. Very nice. And now everything's gonna get much faster. So first we're gonna not go to Lake Alia to get the Flipper's quest, but we're gonna get here and stick to Tingle. So what's gonna happen now, Myth?
Yeah, so we need to do the Tingle quest.
4 GPs.
Yeah. 4. Wow. So yeah, you fuse one at a time with all of the Tingles. The only Tingle that's present at the beginning is the green Tingle, so we're going to fuse with him, and then we're going to talk to him, and then it sets the flag for all of the other Tingles to spawn.
And now it's time for Manip to get to do an Ocarina glitch, and there Darky is going to do one that he invented himself, which is called Squid Slip. There was another one that's much easier, but a little bit slower to get what we call Lady OG. So like that, when the goal is to have the NPC push you into the door.
No. That is sad.
This strat saves like 3 seconds. If you fail it, it's, I don't know, 10-second loss each time. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, so the whole point of this is we need to go get the power bracelets right now.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to start the book quest and do a bunch of stuff, but doing that that trick, that Cafe Lady OG, lets us break into that house early. Normally it's locked and you need to already have given the first book in and talk to the receptionist. And that's all really slow stuff, so we can just do that OG and go through the front door. Use the bottle of water that we collected earlier.
You need to talk to that
needs to remember to talk to that blue Minish, because that blue Minish, talking to him sets another flag to make the Minish in this yellow house move to the side. Yeah. Otherwise, he would be in front of the thing blocking us. So that was something that newer runners would forget to do.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that happens to you only once.
Yeah.
There you can roll right there and sometimes get a damage boost by the cats. Pretty nice. And so here, actually, 2 things are gonna differ. First, there's a fairy you want to grab for breaking into droplets, and also on the next fight you want to lower your health a bunch, because you need to die while opening a door in order to enter droplets. Alright. Sometimes a bunch of people would skip the Fortress of Ruins hard piece. Not very often, but that's definitely something I've done when I wanted to be a smartass.
I can't say anything about the flippers skip, but it definitely became a thing.
After
in World of Horror.
For sure. And so now, basically, all we need to do is do a bunch of fusion. So first with the Stranger, and then the 3 other Tingle Brothers.
Yeah, that's kind of like a nice little cool thing that we do there immediately after getting the Ocarina. It's like, here's one of the really cool things we get to do with the Ocarina. And then we're going to have to wait a while because now we're just going to be watching a bunch of cutscenes and then going and getting the magic boomerang.
Yep, it's kind of like the calm before the storm, as I like to call it back then, because you just have some movement, it's kind of chill, and then you have a bunch of, maybe not run killers, but a bunch of pretty difficult tricks that are going, that are like chained with entering droplets itself, which is very trick heavy now, and then, well, the rest of the game, so to speak, but more OGs.
Yeah, that's right, because we're about to go to Droplets, and Droplets is going to be completely different to the route that we saw last week. Because we've got boss Flip to do Flipper skip. So yeah, there's just so much more in this section now than we saw before, and there's still just like this section is just the calm before the storm.
So there's one more trigger, one more Tingle Brother, and this one requires you to have the Raid Soul. Well, yes, but actually no. I don't know if that was known back then, that you can get into it without, well, get to the Tingle Brother without...
We used to wait it in Hundo for a while.
Yeah,
it was known. I believe MB discovered it in like 2015. It was like,
So we will see in the
found
newer
it
routes.
pretty early.
A pretty neat trick, honestly. But alright, we are done with the fusion. Now, in order to get the magical boomerang, Darky is going to go into each of those 4 trees and step on a button and then go grab the magical boomerang. I think it's the only item that's, I don't want to say optional, but that you don't get either in the story or in a dungeon.
Yeah, like it's certainly an optional item, and yeah, this is the first time that we're going to see getting the magic boomerang. From this point on, all of the routes will be getting the magic boomerang, but yeah, it's the first time that we're going to go and get it.
Another potential route optimization would be to skip the magical boomerang and still do flipper skip. That's something that people have been researching from time to time, but so far it's too difficult to skip.
Yeah, it requires something being discovered in Droplets, which is quite unlikely. I would put money on the most likely thing to happen is a way of getting to the flippers faster.
Yeah.
If we were to ever not get the boomerang, it's because we can get to the flippers faster than before.
And so this is how you get into Droplets. So first, the setup, I think it was found by Yadra.
Yeah.
And the idea is to die once as you open that door. So that's from perfect. That's not too bad. And then you need to do an ocarina glitch. And if you enter, well, you are screwed.
Yeah.
But there, what Ducky did is another thing he invented, which is OG Modern. So what is OG Modern, Myth?
So there's 2 different ways of getting ocarina glitch. You can press up to walk into a staircase or a doorway, and then a frame afterwards you press the ocarina and it cancels your movement of going into the doorway and it plays the ocarina. They cancel each other out and you get the ocarina glitch. That's known as classique. The method that Darky discovered is called modern. Modern involves sliding in front of the doorway by holding diagonal. And then on exactly the same frame, you release the sideways input of the diagonal so that you're only pressing up and press the ocarina at the same time. And that also does exactly the same thing. It gives you ocarina glitch. But instead of having to try and time a 1 frame difference between pressing one input and pressing another input, you're doing it on like simultaneously, so you can get more consistent at doing it.
Yeah, and also, let's say you fail, you're not gonna enter the stairs or even worse, enter the house, which is what every runner was dreading back then. And yeah, they're just much safer and overall better. If the explanation was a little bit confusing, we have the chance of having input display there. So it's probably not gonna happen again. So you'll just look at Darky's input and you can really see it goes like up left or up right and then just up and B. And so for the first time we've been doing those 2 puzzles for the door. Because we need the boss key. Well, we're gonna do boss door clipping now and I'm gonna let Myth explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so we briefly touched on boss door clip earlier, but essentially when you go in front of the boss door with the boss key and you press either A or R to open the boss door, it then starts a cutscene playing. The cutscene can be interrupted by one of Link's items, so we're going to be using the magic boomerang. When you've thrown the boomerang, it's midair. When you're holding A, it kind of like locks Link into whatever they're doing and prevents the screen transitioning from happening. So that lets us get out of bounds. So Darky's off the bottom of the screen at the moment, and they were using the cane to look for some particles to see if they were on the right pixel. And that was a pixel perfect setup to be able to not roll down the wall. Everyone's familiar who runs the game at the moment. That isn't what they look around. But
another green, grab it.
I have too many of them already.
And so thanks to this boss door clipping and setup, we can directly go to the blue warp and get to that lover.
Yeah, this skipped all of the first half of the dungeon that required swimming and riding the lily pad, so
no more of this.
We would get to this bit a little bit later in the other round.
Yep. And so now all that's left is to grab the lantern and then go to the other level, just like we used to, right? It was still the same OG. So
yeah, it's exactly the same. It just gets us to the blue warp's like a nice like central position in the dungeon that's like kind of unchanging. Anything before the blue warp can be changed out and it won't affect anything after, and anything after that changes doesn't affect anything before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so this is a mini-boss of that dungeon, which is basically the boss of the first dungeon, except that he has some lightning protection during his phases, but all the slots are pretty much the same, except that on the third phase you actually want him to jump, because it's easier to set up than having a charge. That being said, if we recap what's different between that route, which is, I won't say one of the biggest game changer from one route to another, might be that one, might be Jihad Clip, but those two are definitely the biggest improvement. So far what we have done is add 3 or 4 OGs and buzzer clipping in order to skip the flippers and gain a bunch of time. So in a way you have, well, I guess you took away one OG to get the loops, right? But overall the game became more heavily filled with tricks and a little bit less with movement, which is kind of the direction that this game and all games, I suppose, take over the years anyway.
Yeah, like the flipper skip was like something that was theorized for a long time as well. Like the original world record holder, SD2 said that they were like gonna retire from the game back in 2012, and they would come back when flipper skip was discovered. It took a little bit too long for flipper skip to be discovered, and they did never come back. But like it was still like people were thinking about it so long back in the past. So it was kind of a huge moment in the community in 2017 when Toad discovered the boss door clip, and then everyone's putting the pieces together and it's like, oh, we can skip the flippers. We finally found it.
Yeah, there have been a few moments like that. I can think of well, skipping the bracelets with a non-garbage
yes
method.
That was another one of those.
Maniping Octo, and
yeah.
In retrospective, I feel like Pirate Clip was not that hyped compared to those two events, but those were definitely the major discoveries past 5 years or so.
Yeah. Octo Manip being one of the big iconic moments in their history as well. Not quite discovered for this route, so we are seeing a slightly different route here at the end of the dungeon, where we went after we hit the first switch, we went directly to Blue Tube, and then now we're hitting the second switch directly going to Octo, whereas as soon as we do Octo Minute, we'll swap this order around just to save like 10 seconds or so.
Oh yeah, that's right. I completely forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, so then we can do a save and quit at we just move it so the save and quit after getting the lantern starts us on the Octo Minute. It's as simple as that. Just a quick switch around.
Indeed, and so we are entering the Octo fight, still being done with the sword. 3 phases. First 2 phases are always the same, and the third phase is the one where the RNG plays. So you can either get Hero Ink, that is Octo throwing 3 rocks at you, 1 Ink where he suck you in, throws you, and then it's some ink. I don't know. Or you can get 2 Ink extra, and you can get some charges in between. Let's see what RNG Ducky gets. Feels so weird to see people doing different things, because now with the manip, everybody does the same thing all the time.
This is clean. This is fast. Like yeah, this is not a bad way of doing Octo Minute
pretty
Plus.
Good.
I did do a lot of working out of how to optimize Octo a few months ago, and it's hard. Yeah, so this is just the RNG section of like you either get sucked or you get 0 ink, but there's 1 ink.
At least 1 ink. I think that Nitro's got 2 inks. And
Quo got 2 ink? Or did he get 1?
I think Quo got 1 ink and Nitro's got 2 inks. Maybe I can confirm. I think that was 1 ink, so pretty
That's
average.
Fine.
Yeah, this is average. Yeah, everyone's how everyone thinks about it. It's just.
Alright, and now, well, getting into Palace of Wind is going to be exactly the same as last route, so just fusing the sword and then doing 2 OGs in the Wind Tribe building, I guess. But what's going to be different is after getting the boss key. And by different, what I mean is it's gonna be going straight to the boss.
Yeah, it's just a little bit shorter.
Around, I don't know, 5 minutes?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe not 5 minutes, but
yeah,
at least a few.
So all of this stuff that we're doing, that we've seen with like getting the magic boomerang and like skipping the flippers in droplets, that came a little bit after the discovery of boss door clip, because the very first thing that people thought with the boss door clip was, oh, if you can do it with the lantern, that means we can do it in Palace, and we can skip the second half of Palace and go directly to Georg, and
which is
that's
true.
the first thing that happened.
Which is true, but incomplete. Can do much more than that.
Yes, exactly. And then it was a case of, okay, let's look at all of the other things that we can do with it. And then it's like, oh, we can use the boomerang, we can skip the flippers in droplets. But I think it was like pretty much day one, or in the first few days afterwards, after boss door clip was discovered, Toads and Fire Turtle just did runs only doing the
Palace of
skip
Winds
in Palace of Winds.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like, as soon as a major trick is discovered, you have two kind of people. The one who are like, okay, I'm gonna wait for 3 to 4 weeks so that all the smart people are gonna figure out what's the optimal route and setup, and you have the angry people who want to get new PBs, and maybe Rickies who are like, I'm gonna do runs right now. Like I was when angle retention was first discovered. I admit.
Every time there's a new discovery that's going to save a lot of minutes and is reasonable for most people to do, you get this behavior happen.
And at least since this Windrest is open, we can warp there. I think they went to town before. I don't know. Can't really remember. But a small time save.
Yeah, we saw it last week. You would just walk to town and then dash straight down.
And so with OG Modern, Darky isn't getting a single stair walk. The worst that can happen is that, playing the Ocarina, but it's 3 seconds compared to climbing the stairs, which is 8.
Yeah.
That's plenty of time to reflect on what you've done.
You can see that he kind of like popped in and then straight out of the staircase. If that was a classic, then he would have walked down the staircase in almost 8 seconds. So it's everyone at the top level prefers doing moderns because of that time save.
Yeah. Also, the magical boomerang is pretty cool.
Oh my god. He has the best enemy in the game.
He has running everything as usual. So the fact that he has the magical boomerang lets him play this room much better than with arrows. Because one, you need arrows for value. 2, you kind of need to think about that right now, because you don't really use arrows before him now, and well, the boomerang is faster. And
fun fact: in the current test, Tom currently plans to not collect a single arrow drop.
Not a single arrow.
That's how little we need to use the bow.
Yeah. Well, I guess like that's 12 for value 2, and
there's more than that.
Well, are you sure you don't need to collect a single drop? There's at least
they routed it all out.
Oh.
I think that it's with 0 left.
All right. That was a little mishap there, but
I needed to use only 2 bombs because I'm missing 1 bomb.
Oh, I see. Overall, still a decent fight, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and not getting a single arrow drop is pretty impressive, because you have Mazal, it's 1 IO, 12 for value 2. And so, well, the first half of Palace of Wind is going to be pretty much the same as last week, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe Darky's gonna get Cutscene OG, maybe not. That's pretty much the only...
it was went for, right? Nitros did go for it.
Yeah, Nitros did go for it, but he didn't get it.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard.
A little bit.
It's kind of precise.
I think the plan for my run next week is, because I've got so many frame perfect ones, I'll be doing a rewind if I don't get them.
Yeah, it's gonna take 2 hours.
Yeah.
Not because of
so-
you, but because of the trick.
Yeah, if Darky doesn't get it, we'll get to see it next week at
Yeah.
least. Despite it not being like, it's still an optional one. Like if you don't get it in a run, you still carry on. It's just like a 30-second time loss.
Cool trick there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, nice.
Very nice strat.
We didn't used to do it at the time, but I needed to show it off because
Yeah,
in the
you
other
got
routes we won't do that room.
Exactly. Yeah, so this is the last time we're seeing that room, and also this is the only room where you need the power bracelets, because, well, you push pots as Minish.
Everyone's done this pattern. I've never done it like this, but yeah.
This is what we used
Cool.
to do at least.
Yeah, Chloe, Nitros, and you all did that exact same pattern. So weird.
There's another one when you push one into the void, but I don't even know
Yeah,
it.
that's the one I do. I think it's faster. I just copied the task because that's what the task did.
Yeah, then probably.
So now just a bunch of pretty nice movement until pretty much the end. Yeah. Oh, boosting instead of jumping. Interesting.
I have too much health.
You have too much help. I mean, yeah, we're kind of used to skipping the Mazal heart container in the modern era now, but you had a lot of help in the to
Yeah, and you
expend for time
have a
saves.
lot of things to do to get to the bracelets. You can get killed by the cats or
Yeah, the cats can not only damage you but also push you really hard, and then you try to go past them again and they hit you again, and it's just
they
a
do
nightmare.
3/4 of a
Yeah,
boss.
yeah, 3/4. So which is even harder than boulders.
And
They're
even-
almost as bad as a Moblin spear. It's that much damage.
Alright, let's see if Darky gets the Kitsunoji.
Ooh,
Little bit
2 frames
early.
early?
No,
No,
it's really bad.
yeah.
Alright, well, next week you will see it. And, I mean, it's pretty much how every Flipper Skip run went. Like, hitting the OG was like, I don't know, 1 in 3, maybe 1 in 4 for
Yeah,
runners.
4 or 5, I think.
Ooh.
That was pretty lucky.
Yeah, sometimes that guy can be.
That guy was quite a dick, but guess what's coming to him?
Here's the last time we'll be seeing this Moblin fight.
Yeah. Is it? Maybe not. Unless you plan on getting buff Kitsunoji.
Oh yeah, I will. I'll demonstrate both. Even if I don't get it, I'll just rewind to get it because we want to show it off.
Alright. So yeah, last time you are seeing that area. And so what's going to happen in a few seconds is the actual prototyping. So that's, as Luke said, there's 2 ways to do it, with the lantern or with the boomerang. With the boomerang, there's a way to mess it up, where you don't press the boomerang in the right direction, and it's basically, if it's not moving, it's not gonna work. For the lantern, you just have to open the door less than half a second after lighting it up. And so this is why everybody puts the lantern on B and go BR or BA, but most oftentimes BR, I think. And yeah, that's simple as that. It's easier with the lantern than with the boomerang, I feel.
Oh yeah, it's one of the easiest tricks in the whole game with a lantern.
With the boomerang, you need to have a boomerang on A, that is the same button that the one that opens
Boomerang does work on B. You just need to B instead of A. But the lantern can't work on A. That's what it can't work for.
So gear
Because if you
spike.
try and press A to turn the lantern on, you just open the boss door.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
And so Gale Spike, well, just as usual, the goal is to hit eyes as fast as you can with clones, and to kill the blue ones with just one spin attack. That's so good. I kinda like, it's always bothered me how in the blue one, when you charge your spin attack with the sword on the bottom, the sword is kind of clipped into Link, and after a few seconds it like unclips. I don't know if we're gonna see it again, but it's always bothered me for some reason. Yes, this one is okay, but right before it was kind of weird. Oh, well, this is another way to do it. This is one of the patterns that is that you can do cloneless.
The visual thing that you line up with is the tip of Link's sword right in the very center of all 8 of the eyes.
To be fair, I just go for it, but
Yeah.
I guess
No.
You were lined up correctly.
You knew exactly
Yeah.
what you were doing, don't you?
I just get the feeling of it.
And that's it for elements. Now it's time for DHC, which is going to be exactly the same as last week, I want to say.
Yes.
With
Except
I'm probably doing weird things in DHC for no reason, but you'll see.
there was another discovery made during this era as well, which
Alright.
was the Vati Minute.
I don't think we used to vary at that point. I'm only doing the Dark Knight mania.
I mean, Black did make it in 2018.
Yeah. But I'm trying to be consistent with the
You're doing your
with the all the way.
yeah, I think the first time I've seen Vadi Manip was, well, Black Autos, but during the bracelet skip routes.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, both Black and you, Darky, were in the grand finals of the 2018 one. You were both going for bracelet skip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was failing it really bad.
I remember it was that time that Darky let friends down, was into Honduras.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay, in the next tournament you can redeem yourself. But yeah, so pretty much same DHC as last week. The main question is, will Darky get canonless or not? So far we got one out of 2.
Boots is faster.
And cutscene again.
Oh, just going through some of my notes. Toads in 2018 did make a Dark Knight Minute in Fortress. After you get the first one key, you save and quit, and then you go to the Dark Knight, and it's all minute, and you get a GP.
Alright. Which
I don't think it
was
was ever actually implemented, but they had it
Yeah, I'm not
saved
sure.
somewhere in resources. It's something that they found. But that's gonna come up again.
the later route, yeah.
Yeah.
Much later route, I want to say.
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff that was like kind of a little bit getting discovered from this route, but also in a lot of future routes, it's stuff that community members had discovered years in the past, and it couldn't be used at that very moment, but it's valuable information that helped save time later.
Yeah, for sure. Right, so cutscene walking again. I feel like it was a little bit low, but no, that's okay. So,
Yeah, it's not that precise.
yeah, it's not too precise.
Yeah. I think it's like a 5 pixel range, so
Yeah, I know which one is the highest pixel that works. So if I'm there or below, I know that's alright. And so DHC, you have 4 OGs to do there. First one coming up right now. Well, of Spark. Be nice. Nope, but that's why you will jump.
oh. There we go.
Having a
No
little
issue.
fun, you know.
Jumping is slightly faster than rolling, and you cannot roll in the first room where you did OG, so everybody jumps there. That Moblin is an asshole.
Yeah.
I
My
have
health
no
got really low.
other way to put it. No bonk. And alright. It's time for the best trick in the game, Cannonless. Let's see. Let's go. That's 2-1.
Everyone does it slightly differently, like
Yeah, I do
exactly
it
where they
correctly.
choose to pick up the bomb. There's just such a
Yeah.
differences between everyone because we never say it's like, oh, here's the version that you're supposed to do. It would kind of say it's like, oh, have a look at what people do, but like feel it out for yourself and find the
Yeah,
best time.
it's kind of funny because it means that it's not that precise, but at the same time it kind of is. I don't know.
It's just one of those tricks that it's best for you to make up your own because you finding your own method is going to be the most consistent for you, whereas you trying to copy someone else's consistent setup for
Yeah.
them, it wouldn't be consistent for you.
Alright,
There's
so
a lot of things like that in this game, a lot of manips and stuff and setups. There's, I think the Wizrobe fight is one of those as well, and things like quad.
yeah, the kills and manips are definitely something that you kind of make up your own recipe. Especially as time went by, because like at this point that was basically do double and get 2 more. But with other strat being discovered, you had like getting a single one in swamp, getting a single one in long range, getting 3 or 4 with quad in castle wilds, more or less chess, more or less armoses. Alright, only 1 more OG to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, with OGs, it's far more preferable to like press Ocarina slightly later than you want, and you like kind of walking into the staircase a little bit, and then you just slowly speed up until you get it, because that's the fastest way to fail.
Yeah, if you're doing modern, if you're doing
Yeah.
classic, well,
Oh,
I guess press it a little bit earlier, but I don't know. Alright, and so we're done with OG. So as the last 2 weeks, you need to jump over those doors because we are basically doing DHC backwards. And I think there was a setup with the sword, but don't really need it. And yeah, you are right, Darky. You have exactly the right amount of bombs, and you're rich. Last bomb. How are you gonna kill Vadi with a bomb if you don't have any bombs?
Yeah, I won't do it. I'm sorry, I can't.
Oh,
Don't
my
have
God.
bombs.
It's okay. You can use arrows if you want. It's 4 arrows,
Yeah,
I
but
think.
It's 4 arrows for 1 hit.
Oh, so it's 8 arrows. Oh my God.
Now I can do 1 hit. I don't know.
another nice nice perk of having the boomerang that you can get fairies in dungeons. So the most common places are in Palace of Wind, right before the boss, well, right before doing boss door clipping, you get one there, and well, that room that Ducky destroyed. Doesn't cost too much time and a better save than sorry.
Yeah, that's one of the things that happened with the introduction of the boomerang as well, is people stopped caring so much about their health because it's just so easy to get more health. And then going for more things like damage boosts and expending some health to get a little bit of time saved because you can get health for free.
So in the next room there's a trick or a boost that Ducky got once and it was never replicated ever. It's called Ghost Boost, and every time Ducky runs this game someone has to remind him that it's something that exists.
Haley did replicate it in a run, but yeah, it was so rare.
Yeah, it's kind of random, nobody really knows how it can happen I think, but it's a funny boost where you just jump really fast. And so it's time for variety manage. So what I like to say is as soon as you 7 quit, if you do the rest pretty good, you finish in 7 minutes. So right now Darky is on pace for 1:45, which would have been a very solid time at the time. So Darky did 1 extra roll. I hope he's gonna remember that for his manip. He does.
I'm doing the old Toad's manip, which is pretty bad.
Oh, the really old one.
That's what we used to do at the time, so...
Yeah.
Running to the door is bad too, but that's how it was.
I don't know why people thought rolling to the door is bad. It is faster.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, then it's good.
Alright, 4 hits. Yeah, I think I remember that pattern. Very nice. Another green kinstone, 2 green kinstones.
Nice. So you can't manip Valley after that, sadly.
Yeah. So this is why newer manips make sure that the Darkness don't drop anything like kinstones. Yeah. I think one of them drops a shell in Black's manip. But yeah. Rare. Yeah, so yeah, very clean. So at least there all the 3 Darkness got killed very quickly and they all charged. And it's time for Valley 1. So maybe time to explain really quickly how you kill him. You kill the eyes, and then the main body is vulnerable, and you're gonna get an extra cycle there.
Yeah.
Not worries, I'm just showing it off.
Yeah, you need to do 6 slashes on the main body to progress from first to second cycle. And the second cycle needs 10 hits, but you can only do 6 per cycle, so you get 6 in, and then you're going to get 4.
And starting there, you can teleport to make your life miserable. You have to use the Goja for cycle 4 and 5 to make the eyes vulnerable. I like to stay on top of Valley 1 because when he does his fire attack, you cannot get hit.
Yeah. So now Vati's got 12 health, so he got hit 6 times there, and then he needs to hit 6 times more instead. But if you miss a single slash on any of these, then you end up having to do an extra cycle, which Dark didn't do.
That was decent enough.
Yeah,
not really good.
Not really good, but decent enough.
It's Manipless, so Vati's going to teleport all over the place, and that's going to cause most of the time loss.
And now, Valley 2, so at least we can boots cancel, but no manip there. I don't really expect to see any manip go to Valley 2, because, well, even if it was known, it's still pretty difficult, so getting it,
yeah.
unless you are actively running, it's not really something you can expect without practicing it a lot. And of course, Vaidi is gonna be in 2 cycles. I always like clench my butt cheeks when I see someone do the spin attack like that, like the sword pointing to Vaidi. Because I don't know, it feels so natural to me to have the sword away from him.
Okay. I think Vati's mostly behaving here. This is really nice.
And very nice guys too.
I need to equip boots, I always forget.
And so all that left is a little bit of movement and then to go fight Vaidi 3. Now that we have the boomerang, sometimes people like to use a boomerang inside Vaidi's arm to stun the vulnerable enemy. I don't know really what to call it.
Yeah, probably not doing it, but
yeah,
it's sometimes faster, yeah.
It can be
It's
faster,
certainly easier.
but it makes it easier, yeah, for sure.
I've got so much health I can just
Yeah.
get hit by everything. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, for sure. And so something that, well, it's not really a strat, but something I like to do at the end of me doing flipper skip was to do portal item with a cane on that portal so that you can, if you time it right, you can hit the arm and then shrink and get into it pretty fast. Nobody ever does that except when I bully them into doing it, but that's something that exists, I suppose. Alright, first arm.
Yeah, one of the weird things about Vati 3 is if you're at the very bottom of the arena, he will never put his arm in the ground.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You have to be a certain height above Vati, but also like there's just this hard area in the bottom that is like, if you're in there, he will never put his hand in the ground.
Alright, this time I have the focus on light blue, so I should not miss it.
It's dodging.
The jukes. And now all that left is actual ping pong, as you like to call it. If you stay in front of his eyes, you should always do that attack. So
Yeah. There is a 1 in 4 chance of getting electricity at the very beginning, but it's a 1 in 4, so it should be quite rare.
and one more cycle.
Time.
Yeah,
And
GG's.
it's a 145.59, so barely
Nice.
145.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's very,
That was a
very
really good run. Yeah.
Really good. Right, so as usual, what place would that run be if it was done at the time?
I mean, that's barely a minute off of record. That would be. It would be. Well, it would be 5th place. Who was held? That position was held by you at the time, PK, which was a 147. Because there was the top 4 runners at the time that all had 145s, except for Firehead, who had a 144. But Toads, Darky, and Black all had
As per
145s.
flipper skips, yeah. Which just goes to show that back then, when the flipper skip and process skip routes were the one that were being ran, you had basically 4 runners who were extremely good, so Toads, Flag, Darky, and Fire, and anybody else was like 2 to 3 minutes later. Like my best PB was a 147.47 with that route, and that was for me, like I couldn't expect to get better ever more or less.
Yeah,
That
it was
was,
like 3 days before Werewolf was discovered as well.
Also, yeah, that was a big performance for me, and that just goes to show that there was an insane gap between those forerunners and everyone else, because Fire doing exactly the same route was 3 minutes faster. So the game is over, so that was Flipper Skip route, so I'm just gonna switch the scene so that we can have a few more words with Darky and Myth. And that's it, so if you can mute the game, Darky.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, thank you. So what did you think of your performance, Darky?
Yeah, it was good.
Did you like it?
I wasn't expecting 1:45, but that's cool.
It was a very good run, and then it's not too late, it's 11, you can still grab dinner before going to bed,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Pretty nice. So underestimate again. Well, I expect everyone to be underestimate. Honestly, we've been pretty generous with those. Yeah. So.
Oh, I'll need to break that. Break that trend. Go well over.
Yeah.
With rewind, it should be fine.
Yeah. For sure. Do you have any more insight you want to share with us, Smith, about Flipperscape, the shape of the leaderboard, or some more intricacy things happening at that time?
Well, I mean, like, it was really just like the game was just absolutely dominated by the forerunners at the time. As soon as this route started, it was Fire Turtle and Toads were like the only two in early 2017. But Darky quickly started getting big PBs in early 2018, and Vlak a little bit later in 2018. In 2018, with that with the tournament, a load of people came in to start learning it. So there were a lot of much newer people that were learning the game and hadn't quite got to the level of like the top four at the time. But yeah, everyone in the top four just had that huge gap between them and everyone else. And really, it was like everyone there deserved a record and did get record and like swapped it around. I think Fire only didn't get record because they didn't do bracelet skip, but they were absolutely like good enough in getting like they did have the fastest time on this route, despite it not being the any percent world record.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Well, thanks to you both. Do you have any last word? Well, not last word, but final words for this stream, Darky? Any shoutouts, maybe?
Well, shoutouts not really, but shoutouts to OG Modern. You can see it's the best start.
Yep, and if you have FFZ, you can add ZZC mode to your channel right now. All right.
That's true.
So next week we're gonna see a route that's very similar, but it's bracelet skip. This one will, as we said earlier, just skip the bracelets, and it's gonna actually be showcased by Myth. So it's only gonna be the two of us next week.
Yeah, there's not too much to extra to explain, and we did a lot of it like this week, so it's just going to be the two of us, and yeah, look forward to that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting to see the difference and to really grasp how harder it was to, just because of that one trick, actually.